A house of horrors where 8 family members, including 6 children, were found dead inside a Grand Haven Township, Michigan home on July 24th. Here's what happened. Firefighters were first called to a home on Riverside Trail in Grand Haven Township, Michigan, near 148th Avenue and Mercury Drive around 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Friday, July 24th, after neighbors reported smelling smoke. They did not immediately find a fire and left. Around 11:40, more calls came in about smoke coming from the house, with dispatch traffic describing a home full of smoke and white smoke coming from the window. So what was found in the house? When crews went back in, they found several people deceased inside the home. 8 people in total, including 6 children, believed to be between the ages of 5 to 15 years old, plus 2 adults. And the adults, the parents, the alleged parents, was Christopher, he was 47, and Amanda, nicknamed Mandy, was 39. All those found dead are believed to be from one family. The parents had 4 biological children and 2 adopted children. So the gunshot wounds. Ottawa County Sheriff's Captain Jake Sparks confirmed some of the victims inside the residence had gunshot wounds to their bodies, but cause of death had not been determined at that point. He didn't specify how many people had been shot, and it's unclear whether other means were also involved. So investigation status. Sheriff Sparks called it a complicated, complex scene and said investigators were not looking for outside suspects, with one working theory being a murder-suicide. Though the sheriff stressed it was too early to confirm that, pending autopsies expected over this weekend coming up, Michigan State Police arson investigators are assisting. And so what has been the community reaction? Neighbors say they regularly saw the 6 children outside and getting on the school bus, and one described an adult in the home as a superstar teacher. The mother, Mandy, was a substitute teacher and a paraprofessional for Grand Haven Area Public Schools. Grand Haven Area Public Schools called it a tragic loss for our community and offered crisis support resources. Man, what a tragic story. I had to bring this one up because I talk about the pillars. There are several pillars that are destroying America each and every day. And I think the 2 leading pillars that are destroying America today is untreated mental illness and the opioid crisis. There had definitely, if this is a murder-suicide, this is a tragic loss for not only that family, but the entire community at large. These kids were between 5 to 15. So you're talking about preschool, middle school to high school. And thank God that school is not in session right now. But in that little small town of Grand Haven Township in Michigan, this tragedy is going to reverberate across that entire community. You know how gossip travels and how negative gossip travels. This is going to hit all the kids in the community that are friends and knew the children. Is going to hit the teachers that knew the children and also knew Mandy, who was a substitute teacher. I don't know what the dad did for a living, but you talk about untreated mental illness, hopelessness, helplessness, the opioid crisis. I'm not saying there was an opioid issue involved here, but there was definitely a level of hopelessness and helplessness when one decides, if it is true, to take his or her entire family in a murder-suicide scenario. There are many people suffering out here. We must keep our head on a swivel, utilize our 5 senses, check on our friends, our family, and our neighbors. What appears on the outside is not always what is going on the inside, and we don't always know. And if you're on the opposite end of it, where you're the one suffering through depression, hopelessness, and helplessness, please reach out. There are all kinds of medical ancillary services out here, suicide prevention hotlines. Reach out to a friend or a family member. You gotta talk to someone. Utilize the five senses that God has given you. We need to be in a God-conscious space. There are a lot of people that are hurting emotionally, physically, mentally, psychologically, that are out here in this world today and are not getting treated for it. And for if it is true that this was a murder-suicide, whoever committed the crime and took this entire family away, it doesn't get any worse than that. And then think about the first responders. I have several friends that are firefighters and police officers, and they say the number one thing that worries them about their job, of course, not getting shot is one of them, but one of the biggest things that they are always concerned about is finding a child dead, whether it's from gunfire, house fire. I've had many of my friends tell me that they cannot get that indelible image out of their mind, and it even bothers them in their sleep, or in their certain level of consciousness and going through their day or looking at their own children, when these first responders, police officers, and firefighters have to go and recover these bodies, and especially of children. Buddies of mine have said that is the most tragic. It's almost like war, like PTSD, and they cannot get that image out of their mind, especially if they have their own children. So this is tough all across the board. You're talking about something that is going to cause PTSD for an entire community. For this to come out of nowhere and happen over the weekend like this, and eight people, an entire family wiped out, probably due to untreated mental illness, hopelessness, and helplessness. We got to get it right. We need to be community driven, one hand to one heal a person at a time. And we need to check on our neighbors, check on our family, check on our friends. Love is an action and a verb, and there's no reason why we shouldn't extend that olive branch to someone who needs it. This is a sad situation. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-conscious way.